Hello friends, welcome back in this video tutorial. In previous video tutorial we have configured a workspace to create a connection pool using JNDI, and that connection pool we wanted to integrate with the Hibernate, so that while creating the session factory, Hibernate will use Tomcat connection pool, right? So here we have configured Tomcat server in previous video tutorial. If you did not watch my previous video tutorial, then I request you to go and watch my first part of this video, then come to watch this video. So this is the project which we had created, and here we had configured Tomcat. Now here you can, once you configure the Tomcat server, then you will get the server over here in the workspace itself. And here if you expand that one, then you'll get the context.xml. so here you will have to make entry of resource to configure JNDI, and that will be the global for all application which will be deployed on the Tomcat. And that resource entry you can even enter in the server.xml as well, but I'm not gonna enter that JNDI related information in context.xml or server.xml. Rather, I'm going to make it application specific, so that I'm going to create a file is called context.xml, which basically I have copied from the inside the Tomcat, and I'm going to paste it inside the meta.inf. So let's paste this file which we have copied from the Tomcat, and here context.xml. There is a lot of things, so these things we can remove from here. And sorry guys, context tag would be there, context open tag, so context close and context open tag would be there. And inside this we have to configure a tag like this, something like this, resource, which basically contains the all JNDI information, right? So here this is called JNDI name, right? This JNDI name our application is going to use to take connection from our connection pool, Tomcat connection pool. And here some of the attributes, this connection pool already basically we had configure in JDBC tutorials, right? You can check my JDBC tutorial, and many few videos I had already posted earlier how to create a connection pool using Tomcat. So I have already talked about these properties, so I'm not going to explore each and every properties. Here basically this is JNDI name, and here we are going to take connection from data source. That's what we have to give the qualified name. Here auth type you have to always specify the container. This is our driver name. This is our database URL, username and password. So if go to the Hibernate cfg.xml, which is inside our classes folder. So here already we have specified a database URL there itself in context.xml. So remove these things, database URL, username, password we'll have to remove from here. Okay, now even we have to remove this driver name as well, right? Now, so these things you will have to keep in mind. Now context.xml will have, and what's the meaning of max active, max idle, mean idle and max wait. You can go to the you can search the Tomcat connection pool, and you go to the website, Tomcat website, and they have given explanation about each and every property. So from there you can explore, or you can watch my previous posted video how to take connection pool from Tomcat, and there I have explained about these all properties. So that's all about this entry in the context.xml. And one more entry we'll have to make in the Hibernate cfg.xml file, and that is nothing but this property. So we will have to write property name equals to Hibernate connection data source and java.com/env. This would be the constant, and after slash we'll have to specify our JNDI name, which we have configured over here. So if you look into the context.xml, so same JNDI, whatever you have specified over here, same you will have to specify over here, right? There should not be any mistake. So now once you specify this is JNDI, then Hibernate is going to take connection from JNDI, which you have configured over here, right? And that we have configured for the Tomcat, right, server. Now once you're done with this all configuration, which is inside the Hibernate CFD.xml plus context.xml, which is residing inside the meta.env, and this is specific to our application only. If you make same entry in the server context.xml or server.xml, that will be global, so that may be accessed by the some other application as well, right? Now let's create one I'll create one two JSPV, and we have to create, or you can say first HTML I'm going to create and second would be the JSP. So I would say index dot HTML, and here guys, my machine is little slow, extremely sorry for that. So here we have created HTML. There I'm going to write one HTML. So here let's write one HTML. I'm going to write a very small HTML. There will take user first name and last name as an input from this registration page. So I'll do, let's create one HTML form which will accept user first name and last name as an input. So here I'm going to action, I'll put it later. Here I would say user first name, and here I'm going to take input. Type would be text, and I would say name equal to first name. Okay, and let's say BR for line break, and I'm going to take a user last name as well. I would say last name, let's say last name, and here I'll design a submit button. So input type equal to submit, and I would say value equal to register. So this is a simple HTML I have written. So I'm not very much concerned about the layout and all. Now in src folder I'm going to create a simple servlet. So let's go and select servlet, and I would say com.infotech.controller, and here I would say register servlet. Let's click on next, and here I'm going to select method as a post. Okay, so this is a very simple servlet we have created, and here URL pattern we are going to assign. Here we have HTML form. So on HTML form we are going to use this URL pattern. So HTML URL pattern we are going to assign. So when user clicks on the register button, then these two things will collect in our servlet. So here while designing the form itself, we have to specify the method as post, because default method is get. So let's specify the method as post. In servlet, what we are going to do, we are going to collect these two parameters. So here we have a request object which is created by the Tomcat container, and here we have a method is called get parameter. So using get parameter we are going to collect user first name and last name. So I would say user get parameter first name This is a first name, and similarly we can collect a last name as well. Last name. Okay. Now we are going to create one layer, say new user DAW. It's a class we are going to create, and there will create a method is called create user, and there we are passing we can create a user object over here, user equal to new user. So user would be our entity class. So let's create a first user object. So create user object, and I'm going to put in the package is called entities, and class name, package name this, and class name user, and this is I'm going to annotate as @entity, because this is our entity class. And table name I'm going to specify user_table, and here I'm going to add three property. First ID, so let's say ID is long. Then second property I'm going to add a first name, and that is type of a string itself, and second property last name, right? Last name. This property I'm going to annotate as ID, because this is I want to make as a primary key, and this will be the auto generated. So auto generated value. Strategy I'm going to specify as identity, and here I'm going to specify the column name. Column name equals to, so I'm going to define column for all these three fields. So for this ID column name, for this first underscore name, and for this last underscore name, and we'll create a setters and getters for this. Let's create a setters and getters for these three fields. Okay. Now here we have created user. Now in user I'm going to set first and last name. I would say set first name and user.set last name. So these two, and here user object I'm passing over here, right? And here of course we need to create this class as well, DAW class. So let's create this class. In the package it's called DAW package, and here of course we need to create this method. So let's create this method, and here I'm going to use try catch. So here I'm going to print stack trace, but real scenario you should not use print stack trace. Always we should go for some kind of logging framework, and here in try I'm going to create a session makes import from arg.hibernate equal to hibernate util dot get session factory dot open session. So we got the session, right? And from session we can begin the transaction, right? And we can get the existing transaction, and we can commit the result, right? Before that we can save this entity which is coming from the client, right? This entity we can save it over here. So a lot of null check and all I have left, so I know you guys are experienced. See here, before saving the entity, of course you need to make sure that this is not coming null from your controller. So those part I have left just for simplicity. So guys, I'm running out of time, so rest of the code I will complete in the next video tutorial. See you there itself.